Okay, let's have a look at the real reason somebody let go, okay? Let's just have a look at that. I've been called to do this today, so let's... First card, haunted. Okay, they had a lot of memories and flashbacks and trauma. That's why I heard ask that question. Yeah, this is a specific message for somebody watching this today. Okay, the real reason they let you go wasn't you, wasn't the love, and you've wrestled with this. I'm hearing you've wrestled with it because none of it makes sense. Now, sometimes in relationships, it doesn't make sense because you've been love bombed, you know, narcissistic. That's a different type of thing that I'm picking up on today. I don't feel this person is narcissistic. I genuinely feel that they have some memories, some trauma, possibly childhood, maybe they've been in a marriage before or a long-term relationship before. But it was that triggered them letting you go. Or I'm hearing they just switched out on you. They switched. Okay, so I'm going to go into that a little bit deeper and see what's going on in their energy and their thoughts and feelings for you now at the moment. And also, are they still in that energy? You know, have they realised that they need to heal? That kind of thing. And then we'll go to the outcomes. So let's get started. While I'm shuffling though, I hope you are all well. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your support. I do read all my comments and I send you so much love. And big hugs as well to those of you who are going through a tough time at the moment. If you'd like a reading, just click on the title of this video. Links below in the description box to the website. All the readings are on there, and check out the free relationship report as well. Like I say, thank you for your support. Righty ho, haunted. Before, I just feel it's something to do with maybe the male figure on this person's in this person's childhood. Okay, I think it's what they grew up with, what they witnessed. All right, and then there's more. I feel they went into, and before they met you, they went into a relationship possibly where that didn't go well. Okay, and it's almost like they got I feel they could be copying or have copied the patterns of a father figure. Now, I don't feel they wanted to be like this. Okay, I feel at times they tried very hard not to be like the father figure, but unfortunately they were. Okay, so let's see what else comes out. What else have we got? Want you back. Ah, right. Okay, so they want you back. They're worried that you will reject them. Okay, they're worried that you will absolutely say, no way, my dear, off you go, run to the hills. I just heard the Iron Maiden song, Run to the Hills. Yeah, I think they think you're going to reject them. Okay, let's have two more. Yeah, you know, this is your energy here. They feel that you are unbothered now. Okay, they feel that, not that you don't care, because I feel you do care. I feel you do care, but you've switched your focus. So for me today, this will narrow it down for you. You are more focused on rebuilding, maybe creative hobbies, a passion, making money, getting out. It's the hustling card. So you're kind of unbothered at the moment to a point of what's going on with your ex. You still care, but it's not as painful as it was. It was very painful to start with, because it was just, you know, I can hear that song. Oh gosh, yeah. Come on, Keels. Pink. I don't know the title, but I can hear it. And one of the lyrics is, if I knew 3 years from now, you'd be long gone. Okay. And I felt when you separated, that's how you felt. You just really didn't think that you would ever separate. You'd had hard times, we all do, you know, but you had a good base. But you've made peace with it. You care, you know, and you've still got feelings, but you've got other things going on in your life now, and you have realised that you're irreplaceable. And you've almost got to a point now where you're saying to yourself, well, if they want to try it with someone else, or they think they can do better, off they go, because you know they won't. Because at the core of this was a good relationship, okay, and you know that they know it. All right, so yeah, that's why they feel that you will just totally reject them. Let me just see, where's my tarot deck? I'll find it in a minute. I just want to have a look at this first energy that came out, the one about the flashbacks. I feel it's a father figure. Yeah, just see it. The King of Cups is there in the reverse. Now that can be, I'm going to pull that over in a minute, that can be a father figure who is very emotionally manipulative, and they don't show their feelings, and they can be very just emotionally cold, okay, but they can also be very hard on the children. They expect a lot from them, even if they're irresponsible, okay, just very sort of male energy who just looks out for themselves. Okay, so I do feel, I'm definitely sticking with that today. I do feel it was a father energy, yeah. Yes, gosh, also with this card, you know, I feel this card is showing that your ex in their childhood environment felt like they were in the middle of two warring parents. Okay, maybe there was a divorce, or maybe there wasn't, and that was the problem. But I do feel that they just sort of okay, they've come out as the Two of Swords. So the Two of Swords is a person who's literally sat like this. So they will close off their heart space. If they feel threatened, they will just literally shut their eyes and pretend it's not happening. They won't face it, okay? But it's also telling me that they, because of this memories, that in the past, that is the behaviour they exhibited to keep themselves safe. So they would literally try and keep the peace. Maybe they were keeping the peace between the two caregivers. And this is really important message for you today, because I believe this person does love you, but they have really poor coping mechanisms that they haven't addressed, okay? Now, they were torn between two people, and they also experienced something called divided loyalty. So the going gets tough with your person, and they just do this. They just literally, there they are. They just shut down, okay? And their way of dealing with things is to bury their head in the sand like an ostrich and not to actually address it. But their typical behaviour, I feel, this will narrow it down to, you know, take what resonates today, if it's your reading, that they will bury their head in the sand, and then you get the silence, okay? Or you will try and have a discussion with them, and they don't want to hear it. You know, they don't want to listen. They haven't got that empathy. And it's not that they haven't got the empathy, because I feel they have got empathy, and I feel at some point they showed you that. But they do revert back to their sort of childhood behaviour, which, unless we all address it, we all do. You know, I can do it. But once you've recognised it for what it is, then life gets easier. So that, I feel, is why this the real reason they let you go, their coping strategies, you know. They would rather sit on the fence, not speak. They don't want to face the pain. They're carrying a lot of pain, okay? There's a lot of pain, and I feel there was maybe pain with siblings as well. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have one more on their memories. Why are they haunted, please? Yeah, they grew up in an environment that they delayed the inevitable. So, you know, there was a lot of warring and a lot of arguing and just a lot of stress and hassle. But also, there was somebody in their environment who always was pulling the strings, all right, and everybody else was belittled almost, and nothing your ex did was ever really good enough, okay? They were almost patronised. I feel your ex was patronised in their childhood, that they were put down, or they never quite reached the standards of this male energy. You know, nothing they did. They didn't feel valued. And I think there was the main, you know, this male role model was also quite stingy and miserly. You know, quite a hard taskmaster. And that has affected how your person is. So those memories then get triggered because they're all buried deep. You know, we think they've gone, but they haven't. It's called detachment styles. And then you guys have problems, like we all have problems. And instead of it being faced, they did what they did to you. And that's the real reason they let you go. Anything else? Anything else on the real reason they let you go? Anything else, please? Yes, they just rush off. They get something into their head and they've just gone. Okay, they don't think things through. What I'm hearing to say to you is, with your ex, if this is your reading, they got triggered by whatever triggered them. They reverted back to their usual coping mechanism. There was no plan. They didn't think anything through. They decided that their truth was the only truth and you didn't know what you were talking about, and they were not willing to listen, okay? And that is all down to these memories and these flashbacks and trauma. Now, if you know your ex has got, you know, post-traumatic stress disorder or something like that, or mental health issues, that is the reason, okay? And I do feel that their coping strategy, going right back to when I said that I feel it was the male influence in their childhood, what your ex does is they become rude and hurtful and tactless and then silent. They can be quite cruel with their words. They grew up with that. You know, we do, I think by the time we're 7 or 8, then we've come out of theta brainwave. So we do change due to the caregivers. You know, it's the way it is. It's what happens, and that's what happened with your ex. That's the real reason they let you go. They would rather do that than face the music. That's what I just heard. They would rather do that than face the music. Have we got any blockages at the moment in this relationship? I've also mother figure. There's somebody around you as well. It could be the mother as well, or a female figure who's a bit suffocating. Okay, take that as you find that. But there's a female energy who's a little bit suffocating as well, who's got a little bit too much to say, apron strings, that kind of energy. Okay, so that is a blockage. And also, and I'm going to say it, sometimes your ex at the moment, although they love you and they miss you and they want you back, is scared to come out of their comfort zone, because they are going to have to face the music. They're going to have to face what they've done. Not that you would be horrible to them, because I know you wouldn't. But there's that, and then they're also scared of this rejection. Okay? Any other blockages, please? Four of Swords. They're not sure if you'll speak to them. Four of Swords is no communication. It's like you know, because this was your energy. You're like, you know what? Don't speak to me. I'm just sort yourself out. Okay. So they're not sure if you will actually even speak to them, because they break your heart. They break your heart. They stamped on your heart. They know they stamped on your heart. Yeah. Okay. We've also got the Devil here. Now, I don't feel that is, in this energy today, toxic, but there has been toxicity in your relationship before you separated. And I feel that you wouldn't want that back, okay? And also, I feel that for a while after the separation, it was very difficult for you to focus on anything else. And that is because they switched out on you. When people do that, trust me, you don't just get over it like that, because your brain can't make sense of it from a scientific point of view. So it's quite normal that you just can't. You almost like if you're in a relationship that is good and then it isn't, you can become obsessed as to why it ended, or why, or what happened. Okay, but the main thing for you to do in all of this, and I say most of my videos, because it really is the key to your mental, emotional freedom, is to just spend a month working totally on yourself. All the love you pour into everybody else, just give it back to yourself. Totally give it back to yourself. Make no the most important word in your vocab, okay? And really, really love yourself. Yeah, bottom of the deck, Four of Pentacles, they're emotionally avoidant. They just close down, you know, it can be all going really well. And then the bars come up, you know, the lid flips down and you're in the same space as them, but they're not there, okay? They're not there. Right, let me see now what they would say. Oh, let's have a look. What would they say? And then I'll go to best possible outcome. What would they say? Love song, harmony. They want to dance with you. Did you like dancing? Did you go socialising? There's a music dance theme here, okay? There's a love song. There's one special love song, okay? So they're playing that song now. There's a song that you two shared. They'd like to go on adventures. They'd like to have new experiences with you. Travel, change and new plans. So what they'd like to do is they would like to just start again, really. Just completely start again. And people do, and their relationships last. Okay? You know, this is a general reading. I don't feel it's narcissistic. If it was, it'd be like a big no-no. They don't change. Okay? Unless they are very aware and they go into therapy. But the flip side with narcissistic people is they don't think they've done anything wrong and they don't need any therapy. So, you know where I'm going with that one. But this person, I feel, just wants a fresh start with you. All right. Are they going to do anything at the moment? Is this person going to... Let me get this deck out. I'm going to use this one. Okay. Are they going to actually do anything, or is this only just going to sit here? But I don't think you're really that bothered. I think you're just getting on with doing... Oh, these are big cards. You're just doing you. Keep doing it. Are they going to do anything? The Star. Yes. I think they are. Eventually. Now the Star actually is Aquarian energy, so you could have Aquarius. You feel is an Aquarian, a Leo, a Scorpio, or a Taurian today, so it's quite a bit. But this Aquarian energy is 20th of Jan to the, I believe it's the 18th of February. Okay, so yes, I do feel there's a strong possibility that this person will come back in. You, on the other hand, might have decided this cycle's completed out. Now, I've had this combination in another deck recently. It's the World, you see. And the World sometimes can mean, if it's about a person from the past, that you're done. No hard feelings. You've learnt a lot. You're, I won't say glad for the experience, but you're kind of healed or healing from it, and you're starting to get your mojo back and you're looking in different directions. Days where you don't feel too good, I think you're having more good days than you are bad days. Okay, because I just feel this breakup was the sort, just to give you an example of what I'm feeling, where you just don't want to get out of bed. You know, you're just completely, every day is just absolutely bloody miserable. And you don't know where you are, your emotions are all over the place. But I feel you are having more good days. So you might decide, you know, that it's enough, that you're done. Okay, that it's happened, it's over. And now I feel with that rejected card that energetically they can feel that. And I do say this a lot, but honestly, if you just pull your energy back from somebody, eventually they pop back out of the woodwork, okay? And I feel you've pulled your energy back. So let me just get one card for you before we wrap this up. I don't know what this is. Pull it out. This is a message for you, what to do. What to do. Concentrate on yourself, the Hermit. Go off the radar, which I think is what you've done. Be the Hermit. Focus on yourself. Focus on your own growth, your healing. You know, just pour everything into you. Just take time out for you now, because if you're not hustling yet or focused on something new, it's coming, okay? Take this time for you. Do what you want to do, spend time alone, take yourself out on your own, and just really pour all that love into you, okay? Because you know, when you've got a really strong self-concept, like so strong, usually a couple of things happen. People feel that and they respect it. And also, if you are in a relationship or things go a little bit, you're not buffeted around like it's the worst feeling in the world, isn't it? A relationship breakup, and you can't understand why. It is vile, it is horrible, it is soul destroying. So if you really sit in that energy now, it's a beautiful picture. You know, set yourself a challenge, a 30-day challenge, you know, through tears or whatever. Just say to yourself, it's like going to the gym, isn't it? Just do it, even if you don't want to go, because also eventually your brain neurons, they start to form new neural pathways, and you watch the change. All right, I love you very much, but that's the real reason they let you go. And if you do, you know, when they come back in, be very clear on what you will and won't accept this time, okay? And just see them as doing all the legwork and turning up exactly how you want them. All right, so I'll leave it with you. I love you so much. Take care. Remember, you're on the pedestal, okay? Bye.